45 days. Maximum lifespan is from 12 to 60 years, and Basrine from 5 to 15 years. Seabirds in Egypt has important ecosystem services for improving the nitrogen cycle, and this is really flourishing the seagrasses, mangrove area, and corals. The study area at the Red Sea coast, we have 1,080 kilometers from Suez at the north of the Gulf of Suez till the Sudanese border in the south of Egypt. I cover all the islands within almost 11 years. We have the Ashrafi Island Archipelago, Hurghada Archipelago, Hamata Archipelago, and Zabargad Island area. The previous study, starting from 1985 by Jeaning and Bahauddin, the survey called Ornithological Survey of Ras Dib, and this was the primary survey of the islands. And then the second trip was by Hous and Khalil group, the bird of island at the mouth of the Gulf of Suez. Then the really details survey by Andrew Grave and Linda Millington, the breeding bird of the North Red Sea. Then I've been published several findings from my study and survey. Mohamed Habib 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and inshallah for bird 22 in November. Result and finding. Starting with a species account. Okay, what we found the seabird breeding at Egypt, which is species listed by originally the I don't see the Annex 2 by RAXPA, which is Mediterranean protection of seabird of Mediterranean Sea. We found number one is brown booby, which least concern, sooty gull, least concern, white-eyed gull near threatening, Caspian tern, least concern, white-cheeked tern, least concern, lesser crested tern, least concern, swift tern, least concern, bridal tern, least concern, and newly finding breeding of Sunda tern at the Gulf of Suez, least concern. And here is the statistics of the total number of species recorded, which is considered highly significant. If you see the p value in the bottom, it's 0.001. And I will go in details. The first one, which is really Egypt represent the most population breeding in the north of Red Sea around our islands, is white-eyed gull. The highest population recorded in 2014, and which was 1,850 pairs breeding in a really small sandy island called Gawish Island. And then the second was Wadi Gamal Island, and then a small amount at different islands. If you look in the left side, you will see how the seabirds suffering during the summertime. You can see they are fluffing the feathers and gulling from the mouth, and from time to time they jump in the water just to cool down, and also to cool the eggs from the sun, which reaching sometime 46 to 48 degrees. And here is the life cycle starting from the in Egypt the almost 28 of April, going to the mid of July, delaying from 1 to 3 eggs, and only one exception I seen 4 and one time 5, but I believe that the 5 eggs is actually 2 clutches together. And here is bibbing from the middle of, of, of May, and the first fledgling start in July. And here the adult feeding in the waste from the tourism hotels, and you see that it's feeding on the watermelon. And personally, I believe, but it's need more study, that the population increased in the last 20 years in Egypt because of the food waste from the hotels close to the nesting area. And also, what I found that the highest population, which is 1,850 bears, is close to the biggest garbage dump at Hurghada city. But for sure, all of this information need more data and survey. And if you look here in May 2018, that the nest with 2 eggs was 1,850, with 1 egg is 1,170, and the total adults in this island was 2,400 individuals. Brown booby, the highest number which I record in the whole Red Sea was in Ashraf Island in 2013. I count 35 individuals. The second was at the Bargad Island. And this is the only 2 islands which I discovered in the last 20 years, while in Andrew Grave, they found that it was Gaisum Island, they have the highest population. This means that the population exchange the breeding site from island to islands, and also this is need also further investigation. What is the reason for that? Is it because of the parasites or because of the disturbance? And here is the life cycle of the delay between 1 and 2, but the success is not more than 1 chick, and the parents always close to the chick. And the reason for that is because of the sooty gull. They always attacking the chick, not to actually eating the chicks, except if it's really in the beginning of hatching and leaving unattended by the parents. But because when they have the sooty gull, they use a really clever methodology for feeding by start to attacking the chick, the 2 weeks or 3 weeks chick. And what the chick was doing to escape from them, they are vomiting all of the fish from their mouth to escape. And then the sooty gull start to feed on this fishes. And here is the 3 weeks chick. And this is the finding for sooty, for brown booby. And then the third was sooty gull. Sooty gull is breeding only at 2 islands, what I found, which is Ashraf Island mainly and Mahabis Island. They are scavenging the lesser crested, white-eyed gull, and brown booby. The life cycle starts in July. They laying between 2 and 3 eggs, and in the left photos you can see what the one of the sooty gull feeding in the palm tree dates, which is the fruit. And the main reason for that, they are full of minerals in the middle of the desert, and this is one of the source for getting minerals in this area. Not just sooty gull feeding in the fruit of the palm trees, but also white-eyed gull and also sooty falcon. And this is the first time to record that the sooty falcon also feeding in palm dates. Also, the feeding chicks with palm dates. And here is the sooty gull drinking from swimming pool. I realized that not just in the Red Sea, but also in the Mediterranean, that the seabird drinking in a certain period of their life cycle fresh water, and especially they are also watering the chick. And I will show you later what does it mean to watering the chick. And here is the finding from the sooty gull. And here is the Caspian Tern. Caspian Tern being recorded at 4 islands: Ashrafi Island, Big Gifton Island, Wadi Gemal, and Hamata Archipelago. The biggest nesting colony was 30 at Ashrafi Island. They are starting in the December and hatching in October. And here in the right side is the adult, and then during summertime, and the fledgling chick begging the food in the left. And they staying really long time, almost over 6 months with the parents till they are mature enough to feeding themselves. White cheek tern. White cheek tern breeding at 4 islands: Ashrafi Island, Big Magawish Island, Wadi Gemal Island, and Gobal Island. The biggest colony was 250 nests at Gobal Island, and here is the colony. The colony, you can see it in the left, is parents rearing the fledgling, the 5 to 7 days chick, and in the right side is fledgling, newly fledgling one. And here is the finding from the all 4 islands. And in the left side is a photo of the lesser crested tern. The biggest population was at Ashrafi Island, 1,850 nest. Mainly the majority of the nest was only 1 egg, and very rare 2 chick. And greater crested tern, if you look carefully to the cursor, it's one in the middle. So they are sometime in the middle or in the back of the colony. And I will show you the difference in size and the plumage in the next photos. And here is the colony and rearing a chick. And this is the fighting for the lesser crested tern. And this is the swift tern, which is bigger in size and different in gray color tone. The biggest colony is in the back or in the end of the lesser crested tern colony, where I found 50 pairs breeding, and the lowest one, what was Big Magawish Island, was 8 pairs breeding there. And here is the really small one at Big Magawish Island. And left one is almost 12 days chick with adult. And in the right, and it was this photo taken in September, that the fledgling is begging the food from the parent. And here is the photo to show you the difference between the greater crested tern and crested tern. You can see that the gray color tone is completely darker in greater, and the size is almost like twice, and the color of the beak is orange and lesser, and greenish, little yellow greenish in greater. So completely different shape and size. And here is the finding for the swift tern. And here is the bridle. The biggest colony is at Sayal Island, and the island it's full of parasites. You cannot stay longer. You need to jump in the water because of the parasite actually biting you, and you cannot stay during night time. And it was very hard for us, and this is why we jumped from the islands to clean ourselves from the parasites. I found 450 bears breeding, and in Ashrafi Island was only 80 bears, and Big Magawish was only 8. They are laying eggs not like others, in the bar sand, but actually under ledge and crevice, especially drifted wood pieces from the old boats. And you can see that the nest actually under this wood pieces. And here is the finding of our study. And finally, we have the Sonder Tern. Sonder Tern, I discovered breeding for Egypt the first time in 2012. At Ras Matarma, we found 80 nests and fledging was 50 chicks. And here is the life cycle. And here is the laying eggs, hatching, feeding, and you can see that they start to feeding small pieces of fishes. And this is what I mean by watering the chick. Lesser, little tern and Sonder, what they are doing, they are dipping the chest, the feather of the bellies and the chest by fresh water, going directly to the chick, and the chick start to sipping and drinking water from the feather, same like the sand grouse methodology. And here is the difference between little. You can see the difference in the right side is the little tern, and then the left one is Sonder tern. The beak is different in color. The first three primary is completely dark, and the little it's dark gray, and the legs completely different color. This is olive color. This one is orange. So they are completely. The looks from far, it's the same, but they are different, and even the square shape of the black cap is completely different. This one is in a square. This one is angled. And here is the finding for the Sonder Tern. And this is nudibranch underwater. So discussion. The species richness at different island. The highest species richness island was in Big Magawish. They have 6 species breeding there for just seabird, because also they have spoonbill breeding and also osprey breeding there. At Ashrafi Island, 5 species breeding there. At 2 islands, Hamra Island and Wadi Gamal, 4 species breeding there. 2 at the Bargat Island, and then the rest of the island, 1 species breeding in each island, and in total there are 17 islands. The main threats to the breeding population are human disturbance. The number 1 is the human disturbance, which as fishermen landing during the breeding season, kite server regularly arrive by safari boat on island by safari boat, and even spend night and doing barbecue at some islands. The feeding behavior makes seabirds susceptible to oil pollution, as oil pollution from oil rig, coming from the oil rig and bilge water from the tourism boats can even devastating the effects of seabird and other birds breeding on the island, as seabird in the Red Sea prefer to feed in the area of shallow water. The predation by rats, which is house rat, Ratus ratus, were recorded at Big Magawish Island. About 4 individuals been feeding on chicks and eggs. And what did I do? I trapped them and get rid of them. And you can see the photo in the right side. Lesser blackback is jumping and being polluted by the oil spill. So instead of the white bib in the top, they are now almost like a gold. And then in the left, and in the left side, and left side of the photo, you can see that the rock crabs attack one of the lesser crested tern and feeding on this chick. Recommendation: in order to safeguard those significant colony, signs should be posted to protect the people out of the area during the breeding season and to prevent any landing or using island during the breeding season. I would like in the end to thank Professor Rida Gafar and Abdel Ghaffar Abu Saud for statistic editing, and the National Park of Egypt for permitting me to do the survey, headed by Dr. Mohamed Salim and his teamwork at Red Sea. And in the end, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mohamed. Wonderful. I enjoyed
Thank
this
you.
talk, really. So people, if you have a question, just raise your hand and then open your microphone and then speak.
Yeah, thank you, Mohamed, for this nice talk. You have islands with 6 species and you have islands with only 1 species. Is it the size of these islands which is decisive of the number of species breeding there, or there are other island characteristics?
Not at all. The smallest island, which have the 6 species, and the biggest island, they have 1 species.
Okay.
And but this is what this why I'm saying that what the main reason for choosing this small island, that for example, white-eyed and the sooty, they are feeding on the garbage tip, and this is close to the island of Hurghada. And I believe personally that the main reason for increasing the population and choosing this island because of the garbage tip of Hurghada.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you stop the screen sharing so we see the whole group?
How can I stop?
Thank you.
Yeah, stop sharing.